Within the framework of the Grow campaign, we have been telling you our stories about women working in the food sector. Today, we've arrived at the State Duma to ask some of our questions on the subject and to find out whether sustainable development is possible in this sector of the Russian economy. The International Eco-Gastronomic Organization Slow Food insists that we need to protect people's rights to tasty, healthy, organic and nutritious food. In my opinion, Russian women farmers dealing with food sector work very hard indeed. Thanks to them, we are able to have safe, healthy, nutritious meals.
Экологически-чистыми, качественными продуктами.
There is a reason why I became a farmer. There used to be a very big factory in Orsha, which supplied the Tveri region with pigs. We had a lot of canteens owned by the enterprise. You must remember that the late 90s were really hard years. The owner of this enterprise decided to close them down. One day, the factory director came to see me and suggested me setting up a farm. By training, I am a vet, and by doing this, I wouldn't have to leave my favorite job. So I agreed. The country was in a very difficult situation. There was no animal feed. Actually, we were deprived of everything we needed for productive work. But we still had to feed people. No one supported me, no relative. Even my husband didn't. He said it was a hard job to do and it was not worth dealing with. But you know, a year and a half later, he started working on our farm. By that time, I had already paid off all my debts. We had to sell our flat and we settled down in the forest area. We had 2 children and we all lived in a trailer. It was winter time. I milked the cows myself. We tried to save every penny to build a farm, and we managed to do it. But somebody set fire to it and it burned down. I applied for financial support from the authorities and got a loan of $3,500. The police investigated the case and found out who had set the farm on fire. They could put the man in prison, but I said he was responsible to God for his behavior. I didn't want his children to suffer and think that it was me who sent their father to prison. It's not as if I would be able to get my farm back or get any benefit if I did send the man to prison. I just forgave him. It was a true pleasure to realize that I could restart my business and to see that the people hadn't left me in the lurch. They didn't leave the farm and we all started to work hard again. Everything had been ruined. The people felt grateful as we produced safe organic food. A lot depends on it. Our children's health does, first of all, and well-being within the country also depends on it. When I felt that I had become successful as a farmer, I decided to set up a farmers and private farm holdings union. There were 7 farming based in Tver region at that time. I could see that everybody who was working in farming kept themselves apart from one another, and I suggested joining our efforts and cooperating. At the moment, there are about 500 farmers in the union. They are well-established farmers and produce market products. It's so frustrating, though, producing food, having no way to deliver it to the consumers. Each time when I am asked whether Russian farmers could provide the whole country with food, I always answer, I have no doubt they could. Why not? I think Russia will become a prosperous country on the condition that it has a lot of successful farmers, and that the farmers work the land and there is no longer any wasteland. People will come back to the country. Our main concern is providing food security in this country. It concerns both in domestic and international markets. That's why farmers are to be the key actors in the process. They have been concentrating largely on this issue in recent years. We can see that 80% of all the available vegetables today are grown on private farms. The issue is that small farmers have no access to the market. It's just captured by big companies. When I had a meeting with Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Alexander Petrikov, we came up with an idea of setting up some special logistics centers and joining the farmers together in cooperatives so that they could own them themselves. The farmers could deliver their produce to those centers, and it could be processed and branded marketable right there. Then chain stores will offer that produce to customers willingly. The logistics centers should have some small shops located within walking distance from them. At weekends, we arrange food fairs at two Tver market grounds. It was really hard at first, but now people have got used to them, and the farmers come to sell their produce in any weather, even in the bitter cold, in minus 27 degrees Celsius. 10 or 15 farmers come, no matter, and customers come to buy food. Each farmer is conscious of his and her reputation and will never deliver bad products for the market. A direct link between farms and consumers is extremely important at the moment. When farmers realize there is customer demand for their produce, they will increase their productivity. When I meet our farmers and ask how that act provided there is sustainable product distribution, they all say they'll increase their productivity by 10 or even 20 times. The farmers are sure they'll be able to provide everybody with safe and nutritious food within the country. It's essential they could do their work and no one interfere in the activity. Farmers need subsidies. Isn't it great that the number of women farmers is increasing? They take up farming as they see there is demand for their products. To my mind, it's really a good sign that about 20 or 22% of farms are run by women. Certainly they face all the difficulties typical of Russian agriculture, including financing and production distribution. Svetlana Maksimova, a successful farmer, is a member of our committee and the State Duma deputy. There are plenty of women in the Duma, and their number has increased as a result of the latest Duma elections. And now my daughter works in farming. Since I can't do that being a Duma deputy, she told me she'd follow in my footsteps.